welcome back to Horizon Forbidden West. The last video was pretty much the last video, probably. We finished off the cauldrons. They're done. We finished off with Kappa. And I went back to get the overrides, and I got all the overrides, and there was an override missing. There was still one question mark left in the overrides. Well, I looked that up, and apparently the consensus is that's a glitch. That's supposed to be the Sunwing that you ride. That's what that is supposed to be. So there are no more overrides available. So what I kind of wanted to do is just maybe do a little review of the game. Not that anybody cares what I think, but since I've got almost 200 videos, more than that, I got 220 videos of me playing this game, and people, listening to me complain and whine and cry about stuff. I figured I'd just compile it all into one video. So we're gonna go categories, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And we're gonna start out with the good. The good is, look, this game is beautiful. I mean, it is just gorgeous. Look at the grass right there. It's this prairie grass growing on the side of the mountain or whatever, but just look at that. It is just awesome. So that's a plus. And the first one was awesome too. Zero Dawn was awesome too. I mean, it was great. But this is just, it's crazy good. It's just crazy amazing environment. Combat was very good. I mean, it's always good. The first game was good too. This game was pretty good. And I just loved it. Even though I got my butt whooped many times throughout the whole series, the combat was awesome. And I'm only playing on normal mode. If I might attempt New Game Plus, kick it up to ultra hard just to see what it's like. But I won't record that probably because there's no sense in looking bad. I look bad enough in normal mode. But it was good. I liked the combat was really good. The machine design, as usual, was really good. I mean, they had some new machines in here. My only complaint was some of the machines, like, what was it? These guys, the burrows. I'm still missing one burrower. One variant of the burrowers. I mean, come on. Seriously? So we have a fire canister, frost canister, shock canister. Then it must be an acid canister burrow, which I guess I haven't found one of those. Very weird. And that was the worst machine right there. It had all those variations. A lot of them had variations, but most of them were just an apex variation, which, that wasn't too bad. But this was nuts. Look at that. What's the point of that? But that wasn't a complaint. That was it. I mean, the machine design was awesome. I liked a lot of the machines, and I thought they were really great. I like this little area, like this right here. They have these all over the place. Shelters. You got a shelter here, and the shelters have, workbenches in them, so you can either upgrade your equipment or create ammo, because ammo is cheaper to create at a workbench, and you have a stash here where all your stuff is. Get it? There it is. This is where all your stuff is, right here. You got a stash here, which is pretty awesome. And I forgot to mention this is not going to be a spoiler-free review. I'm just going to go through the whole game as I played it. Your workbench here. You upgrade everything. You can craft ammo, you can craft traps, potions, do your pouch upgrades, and then any special gear that you have to make, for mission and stuff. So these are neat little areas. I kind of like that. And you can sit here and change the time, which I think is awesome too. Progress time. That was a very nice addition to the game. Because there are sometimes you want to be at night, sometimes you don't want to be at night, sometimes you want to be during the day. Especially later in the game, that's when you hit more your apex predators come out at nighttime. And if you're level 50 like I am, and it's late at night, you're going to get an apex predator no matter what. Sometimes they happen during the day too, but mostly at night. The other cool upgrade was flying on the Sunwing. I can call him. I'm not going to do that right now because I don't really want to go flying. I thought that was pretty cool, but that, there's a caveat, but, that doesn't happen until really late in the game, which, I can understand that to an extent, but, and I'm real curious to see in New Game Plus mode if you can just ride it right away. They may lock that until you get to that point in the game. Who knows? So, those are pretty much all the good points in the game. The main good point is it's just so beautiful. I mean, it is just such a good looking game. It is just awesome. It's really cool as hell. Alright, so let's start with the bad, which is the bad is stuff that, I don't know if it's just me or if there's any kind of glitches in the game. A lot of it's just stuff I didn't like about the game. I don't think it's glitches. I think when we get to the ugly, those are things I consider glitches. I don't know. It's just dumb. Anyway, so the bad stuff I didn't like in the game is my number one complaint, well, top complaint anyway, is this upgrade system where you have to go around and just collect resources to upgrade your weapons. And the complaint I had in the beginning of the game was it seemed like they had nerfed the weapons. And I think they nerfed the weapons to go to this to make you go to this upgrade system and upgrade your weapons. The other game, the original game, I liked where you just get a better weapon. You work towards the game and you get the next level weapon, and that carries you through the next the next 5 or 6, 10 levels until you get to the next level and you get, the next level weapon. And that's how a lot of games work. I mean, understand, like Fallout 4 has an upgrade system and you're collecting, stuff, but it's stuff that's laying around everywhere. You just pick it up. This here, you gotta go hunt down machines. You gotta go hunt down machines, you gotta go hunt down stuff. You have to find them in a very specific location. It's like, man, that's just nuts. It's just nuts in my opinion. I don't know. Like I said, this stuff is just things I griped about. A lot of people may not bother them. There's a lot of people that love farming. I find farming tedious as hell. And I just set the game on story mode to go farming and get what I needed. But even then, it was still kind of tedious. Something else, a minor complaint, but it's still my complaint, is the side quests were a little boring. Not all of them, but quite a few of them. The side quests were just like, really? And, that's what we're doing here? Just doing weird stuff. And I really can't, I don't have really quick examples about the side quests, but there's just, and I don't remember most of them now anyway. But some of them, there were some step and fetch side quests, which, those were okay, but they were just, kind of weird. The salvage contracts those were fun. I did like doing that. That was a lot of fun. So I'm not going to complain about those. But the side quests were just, in the beginning of the game, also they had a couple, maybe side quests that were quest locked. You had to go do something else before you could do that, which I guess a lot of games do that. I don't. This is like the first game that I think I've run across that something was side, like the tall neck in the very beginning there. You couldn't override that tall neck because it was quest locked until you got the ability to fly and get up on top of it. So that tall neck was early on in the game. That was this one over here. That was fairly early on in the game. Was it this one? Not that one. This one right here. This is quest locked until you get the ability to fly. And you get the ability pretty late in the game. I mean, it's like an end game thing. So I didn't like that. That was crazy. There was a couple other things that were quest locked that you couldn't do. The metal flowers. That was like, to me, that was I don't know, it was just the dumbest mechanic in the game. The first game, metal flowers were all collectible. You collected them all, and then you took them, and you got something for them. I mean, you traded them for either shards or you traded them for something. I mean, you collected them. You knew how many to collect. You didn't know how many there were in here. You just stumbled across them. And then the rewards were like, just a little chest with some shit in it, some crap in it. Or you get ambushed by a high-level predator and get your ass kicked. I mean, that happened more than once to me. And the Fire Gleam was kind of the same way. I mean, the Fire Gleam seemed to... That seemed to work more in the ruins. When you were... The Relic Ruins. Fire Gleam protected areas of the Relic Ruins that you had to go through. And again, Fire Gleam that was quest locked. So you had a lot of Fire Gleam very early in the game. When you first came into the map, all the way over here, you had some Fire Gleam areas that you couldn't get into. It was quest locked because you didn't have the ability to destroy the Fire Gleam yet. And then once you get through the Fire Gleam, you get this little weird either jumping puzzle and the rewards were, kind of crappy. It was just my opinion. So the Fire Gleam and Metal Flowers were that mechanism was a little weird. Metal Flowers especially, I mean, it just seemed like a waste. I don't know. It's just, I don't know what that was all about. And even the drones. Okay, you're collecting drones. Survey drones, right? Come back. Nope. Here. Survey drone. We collected all these survey drones, and they don't do nothing. I mean, you don't even get a trophy or anything for collecting all these survey drones. You got nothing. You don't even get a reward for it. You go back and you bring them to Gaia, and you get this really cool thing that goes on the dome where Gaia is. Gives you a picture. So it's like, seriously? I don't know, that was crazy. The Vista Points were a little more interesting. They made you work harder for these. Which was kind of cool. You got a little bit of a treasure at the end of that when you got all those, and that was okay. Black boxes, that was pretty good. You collected all of those and you got some stuff for that. But the freaking survey drone was kind of weak. The ornaments was okay. That wasn't too bad. The another thing that was really, really fried me was this new climbing system. This here, when I first saw this, I thought, cool, that's awesome. I mean, you can just about climb anywhere. You have all of this stuff mapped out on a rock, but it doesn't work that well. I mean, I think they tried to make climbing easier and more accessible to climb up stuff, and it was a good idea, but man, you watch the videos, you can't tell how many times I got stuck where, Aloy wouldn't move. She would just kind of hang there, and you couldn't go anywhere. So I think that might be a little glitch, but I don't know. I mean, the system overall, it's a good idea, and the majority of the time it worked fairly well. But there's a few places, and you got to give them credit. As complicated as that is, if they only got a few spots that's bad, that's okay. But I think that it just missed the mark just a little bit. And let's see, all of the puzzles, the jumping, and I guess that just goes back to the Fire Gleam and the Metal Flowers, but all the puzzles and the parkour and the jumping up and down and swinging across stuff, and, trying to figure out where you're going and have her jump and she doesn't jump is very weird, and that's kind of part of the ugly part of my review is the jumping system. I mean, I can't tell you how many times, I think, maybe 4 times, she jumped over a drone. Once I finally got to where I was going to go, and the drone was right there, she jumped over the drone. I mean, or there were times where it looks like you can't make a jump, and you can make it, and then go to the next one, it looks like, yeah, it's right there, all I got to do is jump over it, and you crash to your death. So the jumping system was very inconsistent. It didn't snap to anything like it should have, I thought. In the first game, it was pretty consistent. It was very consistent, actually. You knew what it was going to do. In this game, it was very difficult to decide what it was going to do. So I did, that was part of the ugly thing. I think that can be fixed. I don't know if that's a glitch or something or not. The other thing that bothered me a lot in this game, and it happens, is the prompts. You're trying to do something and the prompts will disappear on you. It's not doing it now. But you had to get just in the right spot. It depends on what you're doing. Right now it's working pretty good. Unless they fixed it in the latest update. But it's not doing too bad. That happens a lot in a lot of different places when you're trying to get a prompt for something and you couldn't do it. It just wouldn't work, and that should be fixable. I mean, that's just a glitch as far as I'm concerned. And another one of the really ugly things, which I considered a glitch, and I don't know, is Aloy's dialogue. And I know there was rumors that people complained about it when it first came out, and they supposedly fixed it. Whether they did or not, I don't know, because I wasn't playing the game in the very early stages of it. I didn't have the game, so I don't really know, what the complaint was about. But I mean, you will have already done something, and she's talking about how you do it. And it's like, or you're talking to an NPC, and you're supposed to ask them about something. They've already talked about it, and you go back and she asks, oh, so what about this? So the dialogue is kind of wonky in a lot of cases. That should be easily fixed. If I've already done an objective, why is she talking about it? Why does she say, well, we need to do this, or we need to, like basically end game there when I had to kill this tiger. She goes, oh, we got to kill this tiger, we got to take care of it. And it was a done deal, and she's talking about how we got to take it out. So that's kind of screwed up. I don't know. I think that should be fixable. But then again, it's just my wacky complaints. Other than that, I'm going to play the game again. I mean, I have a good feel for it now. This was basically a blind playthrough. I'd never played this game before, and I avoided YouTube videos, people playing it on YouTube. I just avoided it because I wanted to get involved. I mean, I wanted to be a fresh start. I wanted to play the game without any spoilers. I wanted to know what was going on. See, we can change time right now. It's getting dark out, and I think this was a great addition to the game. I just think that's awesome. I love when games allow you to control time, because there's a lot of times you want to be doing something in the dark. Like how she does that little hop, skip, and a jump there too. So that's my review. For what it's worth, take it or leave it. Take it with a grain of salt. Doesn't matter. Just wanted to air out my grievances, which I kind of did that throughout the whole game, but I figured I'd compile everything since I had so many. I have almost 200 hours in this game. I checked that out, which is a lot. That's like the most I've gotten in any game. Well, it's a lot because this is my first playthrough, and it's a big game. I mean, there's still a few things over here. I noticed that there was a question mark over here, right here. There's a question mark at this shelter. So I might go check that out a little bit. And I think I might switch on New Game Plus just to see what it does. I think I played New Game Plus in the original one. Can't remember. I know I played that like 4 times. I just loved it. It was a great game. And I'm probably going to play this more too, because this game is really replayable. I think it's more replayable than the first one because of these skills. I mean, you could change your play style with this a lot. You really couldn't do much in the other game with the play style. But here you can change your play style a lot with this, and with your outfits that you have. Each outfit is it leans heavy on a certain skill tree. So I believe that there's a good replayability in here, and I want to do it again. I want to try it different. Even though I'm not good at that. Whenever I play a game, I like the way I play it the same way again because it was fun. So that's it for now. And I don't know, what I'm going to record next, because there's nothing that's really piqued my interest. I'm not an Elden Ring guy. From Software games, they just kick my butt. Um, yeah, I don't know what else is out there. I have to go look. I don't want to redo a game that I've already done. You know, Fallout 4, I don't know how many hours I got in that game. I've done a complete series on that. Borderlands, I've done a couple series on Borderlands. Well, there's Tiny Tina's thing. I've heard a lot of mixed reviews about that, especially from Borderlands diehard people. I mean, some of the Borderlands YouTube people, they were unimpressed with it, which, you know, that was my feeling right from the beginning, is that, you know, why are they doing that? Let's make a fresh Borderlands game. Let's start fresh with something different. You know, and they went with Tiny Tina, which, you know, I mean, Tiny Tina's fun. She's a great character, man. It's just insane. So, I don't know what's coming up next. But if you like this series, I appreciate you watching. Subscribe, hit the like button, and hopefully I'll be able to come back with something even more entertaining than this was. So, once again, thanks for watching.
See it.